Today is the 10th of January 2022, and we think of the new year which comes around every year. We determine our hearts to do goodness and merit. For children, their intent in their studies, intent to follow virtue, to speak the truth, not to speak falsehoods, to have giving and self-sacrifice. And if they're one who is angry, then they're determined not to be angry or to be angry less. So they have this firm intent in their hearts. We call this setting the heart correctly, or correct intention, to set the heart in the correct way. And this is a blessing in one's life. And the setting one's heart correctly has many levels to it. In the beginning, it's about giving and sacrifice, setting one's heart to do merit, like generosity, giving up selfishness, to be intent in one's studies, to have success in one's studies. And higher than that is to be intent to do one's work better, to have improvement, to have hard work and effort and perseverance in one's work, and to do it with mindfulness as well. And it's important to have wisdom in carrying out one's life, because we see that the world changes. We can't just stick to our old habits and old ways of doing things. So we set our hearts well and use wisdom to gain our livelihood, to gain material wealth. And so we set our hearts correctly. And we set our hearts correctly in the doing of virtue, the observance of morality. And we see that to set one's heart wrongly has a lot of drawbacks, like stealing, which goes against virtue. So when one steals, this is setting one's heart incorrectly, lacking virtue. And when one starts down that path of stealing things, even starting with stealing a small item, one may find that they can't find their way out of that lifestyle and they end up stealing again. So when we think about this, we see that it just has drawbacks, this type of behavior. And higher than this, in terms of setting one's heart correctly, is practicing the Dhamma, seeing the drawbacks in the cycle of birth and death, in the cycle of samsara. Because we see that our minds are not just born into only this one life. They take on the four elements in this human world, and these elements degrade, and we meet with old age, sickness, and death. And we see that as humans, their wishes don't differ from common animals, but the human is the highest type of animal. They're able to learn and study to a higher level than other animals. So we're determined to train our hearts and minds, to practice and train, to sit in meditation, to bring our minds to stillness. Because we see the mind that lacks stillness just thinks and has busyness without ceasing. And the mind will think and be busy in this way all the way up until death, without any end to be found. And so we set our hearts to bring our minds to stillness, to do Buddho a lot, or to contemplate the body as impermanent, suffering and not self. This is something we have to train in, to have effort and perseverance in. So may you set your hearts on doing this every single day, to practice virtue, to practice doing merit and goodness, to do it all year long, to do it this year and in the future as well, to train the mind to be higher and better. And in the end, one is able to see and know the Dhamma. So may you all set your hearts on this.